Oh, hang on. 2 pages, Nato. The mid-90s looked like a microchip and tastes like the sea, breakbeats and a mix of electronic music. Microsoft gives us the vehicle, even if it's the only make we're allowed to drive. From Windows 93 we get Windows 95, and a world quite rapidly populated by users. These years smell like new things. I'm tired of empty rhetoric, secretly glad I never subscribed to the new left, even though their young leader tried to push the manifesto and his cock across the table. By now I've learnt that just because you like a guy doesn't mean he has any answers. Guys look nervous when I ask them for lifts to the library. My best brush-off line is, fuck off, I've got enough friends. The truth is, they're more alive in my memories. Too many of them dying, lost to heroin chic. One of my friends, Shauna Boyle, calls from the Gold Coast saying, if you don't get out of there, you'll be dead soon. My friends and I want to be everything we've never been, educated, more fucked up, or overseas. Infamous cruises disintegrate via the fallout of the usual things. Drugs, shit, I'm losing it. Nato, help me. Infidelities and misdemeanors. It's a shock learning we aren't that different. People scatter and roll, dazed and confused. These years mean taillights fading and movement. For me, the transition means enrolling in a School of Arts at Griffith University on the Gold Coast. Yeah. It all requires stepping off. The result is unhinging. At first I find the Gold Coast too shiny, but somehow it gets into me. The School of Arts is boutique in its first flush of life and philosophy before corporatisation and KPIs and measurable outcomes. There are only about 50 of us in second year, only about 30 in second, handpicked in various forms of crazy, fucked up and ambitious. At university, no one talks about real estate or how much money they make. Catchphrases range from free to bet to Pat's doing my fucking head in. To Paul Appleby made me cry. To Mark Hoffman just abused someone else at the bar. Sorry, there's not many people around from that time.
It's all good though.
And are you going to come and see my thing? I'm lucky Jodine is doing time at Woolworths while learning how to act, and we bring home family-sized trolleys full of groceries we've badly paid for. I rate everything, peel off my black peaks and jump in the ocean for the first time in years. I spend my nights in student sharehouses drinking cheap goon and engaging in largely futile, impassioned conversations with people I hate and maybe even still want to sleep with. Because the mid-90s is all about bitching, about who we've known and who we want to be. Because houses and notions of permanence, whether we want them or not, are way, way still out of reach. Jobs go the way of lovers and mobile phones, from casual to casual contractual, which is just another way of saying you're on your own. The late 90s. The late 90s looks like the world has been repackaged and sold back to us in bubble wrap. Hours feel paper thin and sound like relentless television. Seinfeld, Melrose, Jerry Springer. And just when we think the days couldn't fly by any faster, they do. The world reminiscent of the David Jones perfume counter, light blasted and overabundant. Bunny-eyed, we try and decipher the words which flow over our screens like poetry, but are actually advertising copy. From corporations who sound just like all those French writers used to. Yves Saint Laurent, Gaultier, Rochas, Lancôme. And because of all this slick saturation, we still haven't developed a conscience, but that's cool, because no one else seems to have bothered to either. Last page, Nato. We realise we aren't going to get away with being young anymore. We're not just looking at contemporary art, we're making it. Sometimes with the feeling in recent years that we might have crossed over to the dark side. Really, we still want to go to Tibet, Vietnam, India, South America, but now we've got the money, we don't have the time. we end up in comped hotel rooms in Adelaide. A stranger's house is still the worst place to wake up without your sunnies on. When we've come to sex, we've had too much. Out of respect for something or someone, we've stopped counting, still using ABNs for casual love. And at the end of the millennium, just when I think my head is going to Y2K explode, George Lucas ushers in the Phantom Menace. And even though it's not good, in fact, it's pretty shit, to me and all the Star Wars kids, it still feels like coming home. Even when it seems like there are no singular movements or moments left to have anymore, I think it's kind of fitting that Hollywood wants to sell us the idea that it is possible for all of us lost children to go right back to the beginning. Rewind, play, the 1990s. Just a replay of a small story.